To create the mouth for Doug the dog, we are going to be working in rows instead of rounds. We'll still be starting with a slip knot, and we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. We're then going to work 6 single crochets into the second chain from the hook. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, I know it looks like we're working in the round as we have been doing, but we're not. We're going to be working in a row, which means after completing the 6th stitch, you need to chain 1 stitch, and then you're actually going to turn your work like that, and then we're going to work back down this way. For our second row, we're going to start in the 2nd stitch from the hook, so you're going to skip that chain that you made, and we're going to work 6 increases. So stitch 1 gets an increase, stitch 2 gets an increase, stitch 3 gets an increase, stitch 4 gets an increase, stitch 5 gets an increase, and our final increase will go into stitch 6. Again, because we're working in rows, not rounds, we're not carrying on this way. Instead, we're chaining 1, and we are turning our work to work back down the half moon. We're again going to skip the 1st stitch, which is the chain, and start in the 2nd one. We're going to be making 6 decreases, but because we're working in rows, we're going to use the traditional decrease instead of the invisible one, which means you go all the way through your stitch, hook the yarn and pull it back, all the way through the 2nd stitch, hook the yarn and pull it back, so you have 3 loops on your hook, hook the yarn and pull through all 3 loops to complete your decrease. So that's 1 decrease. We do the same with stitch 3 and 4, again with stitch 5 and 6, same with stitch 7 and 8, do it again with stitch 9 and 10, and for the last time with stitch 11 and 12. That completes our 6 decreases. We are now going to finish off with a slip stitch right here where we finished. Just make the slip stitch. You want to leave long enough of a tail to be able to sew your mouth onto the head. Just going to pull it through, and that's your mouth there. As you can see, we've created a little bit of a lip. If you look from the front, you can see there's a bit of a lip there that you can stick your finger into. If you look from the back, it just seems like a smooth round instead of having a lip. So this lip part needs to be facing you when you pin it to the head. And that's the mouth. Next, we're going to be pinning the mouth to the head. Now, you want to make sure that the lip side is facing you. You want to push it underneath the muzzle in the middle, and you want to push it back so that it is actually touching the head over here. You want to make sure that you get it nice and centered. Once you're happy with the position, just take a pin and push it through on either side. And check that your mouth is looking good from every direction. I'm quite happy with that, so I'm going to sew it on. what we're going to do is we're going to work along this outside edge over here with invisible stitches from the one side round to there and back again. It's a very awkward position to sew in, so I'm not going to be able to do that on camera. I need to bring it a bit closer to my body to do it. So just sew along that outer edge and back again, same as you did with the muzzle, and then I will show you how to finish off the sewing. See you soon. Okay, at this point I've sewn along the edge as I told you to, and the mouth is now in place, and I've removed the 2 pins. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to make a stitch that will allow me to connect the mouth to the muzzle. So I just want to move my needle to this corner spot. And then we're going to make one stitch where we go through the mouth, there, and through the muzzle, just so that the mouth and the muzzle are actually connected to each other with your sewing, like that. Back through the mouth. I'm then going to just go in this side and pop out on the other side by the other corner of the mouth. And we're going to do exactly the same thing on this side, where we're just going to catch a stitch of the mouth. And then we're just going to work it through a stitch of the muzzle. So that the 2 can be nicely attached to each other. There we go. And once you are happy with your positioning, you can just let your 2 tail ends come out at the same spot. You can once again knot them together. Slip the ends off short and push the knot into the head. So that it is completely hidden. So that's what you should have at this point for Doug the dog. We'll see you shortly to create the ears.